What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Marketing Reseller Podcast. Guys, in this podcast today, we're going to be talking about how success leaves clues. Okay, so this is something I learned in back in my Amway days and my vacuum cleaner days. But success does leave clues, and what do I mean by that? Okay, so you can usually tell when somebody is successful, right? Typically by how they walk, how they carry themselves, how they all of that type of stuff, right? But one thing that you guys can do is learn from like the little breadcrumbs that are left along the way of somebody being successful. And this is a lot about what I do. So for example, um, my mentors, Landon Stewart, Chris Stapleton, and Jaden Easton, they had a mentor. His name was Mark Hoverson, and he's the creator of the Million Dollar Day. And he's also he unfortunately has passed away. However, I saw in my mentors such success. Right, they've built over a $10 million company, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about them. So what I ended up doing is I decided to go and follow their mentor, Mark Hoverson, even though he had passed away. I know they were heavily influenced by him specifically. So I followed the little breadcrumbs, because success leaves clues, right? And those clues usually come out by those mentors or those people actually saying what they were, right? So what I ended up doing is I went and I found Mark Hoverson's, went and found his profile, and I started watching his Facebook lives that he did, and I started learning more about success and how my mentors were successful. Um, because the things that he was able to teach them, you could see freely online. And this is where I say success leaves clues, right? When you see somebody who is successful, typically they were mentored by somebody else, or they got coaching or some help from somebody else, and that's a clue. Okay, it's a clue. Number one, they got help, right? So one thing that really stands out whenever all of this comes full circle, right, is whenever whenever you see somebody successful, there's clues behind their success. Okay, and it's important that you go and follow what those clues are, because if you do, there's a good chance that you will also become successful and surround yourself with the right people, and grow a company very similar to what your mentors have done. Um, you know everything really, I mean, a lot of things follow the same spectrum, right? So it's important to follow behind and kind of see what people are doing, and kind of go from there. I mean, I do this with a lot of my mentors, is I'll follow who they were mentored by, and then I'll actually hire that person to mentor me, not the person that mentored them, but the person who was mentored. And because I know that I'm going to be able to learn directly from them, because now I'm only 2 degrees away from their actual mentor, right? And that's a very powerful thing, is being close to mentors. And that also comes into communities as well. Whenever you're in a powerful community, let's just say, everybody in the group is making $100,000. You join the group, it's very likely that if you get around people that are making $100,000 a year, you're going to start making $100,000 a year. Like, it's very difficult not to be part of the crowd, right? And this is insanely powerful whenever it comes down to it, because for example, if you hang out with buddies that drink at the bar and stuff every weekend, it's likely that that's who you're going to be. But if you're hanging around with like successful people, or even on Zoom calls and stuff like that, guys, I mean, here's a really good example of how success leaves clues. A couple of years ago, I was in a mastermind that we held every Tuesday. It was me, David Kosciuszko, Feldon Richards, Huey. If you guys don't know Huey and Feldon now, run a direct buyer business together. And Feldon Richards is one of the best buyers in the business now, only 2 years in, so it's amazing. And then Eric Jacob now runs an entire YouTube channel showing people how to flip NFTs. Then there's me, who, I'm a marketer and all of that, right? And you guys know me. And then there was David Kosciuszko. And David kind of led this group a little bit. But guys, this group was incredibly powerful for me because I was around people who had ideas that were better than mine, right? A lot of the ideas that I learned in that group, I have now implemented. And this is really where it comes into success leaves clues. Successful people hang around with other successful people. That's what happens, right? Every single person who is in that group now is making over 6 figures a year. Every single one of them. Some are even making, $500,000 and more, right? So guys, success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys in the next podcast, and you guys have a fantastic day. Remember, success leaves clues.